So today, we're diving into a piece of writing that's part story, part warning. It's a way of looking at the communities we build online and the platforms that build themselves on us. It's all about hope, how that hope gets used, and what it looks like to leave one last defiant truth behind. Right from the get-go, the story just cuts straight to the point. It's telling us, look, this isn't really about amazing new tech. This is about a pattern as old as time, a pattern of power and consumption, just, wearing a brand new digital t-shirt. And this is where it gets personal, right? It asks us to think about our own experiences. Have you ever been the one beta testing a game or pouring your heart into a forum or training an AI? This is all about that feeling and what happens when our passion starts to look a lot like a product. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning, with the people who showed up when the paint was still wet. And notice, the story doesn't call them users. No, they're called builders, testers, witnesses. And that distinction is absolutely everything. So we're not talking about your average passive scrollers here. These were the people who showed up when it was all broken and buggy. They invested their actual time, their brain power, they even read the fine print, and they gave real feedback, all because they truly believed they could help make this new thing something better. And this, right here, is the vulnerability. It's their hope. The fact that even when their gut told them to be skeptical, they chose to believe. That hope was the most valuable thing they offered. It gave the system its chance. And well, the system was more than happy to take it. And this is where things start to take a turn. It's this quiet, almost invisible shift, where all that genuine passion, all that community spirit starts getting translated, repackaged, and turned into a corporate asset. This line. We've all heard this one, right? It's in every keynote, every launch announcement. It's the big public hug. But the story forces us to ask, what did they actually do with all that help? Where did all that passion really go? Okay, let's break this down because this is where it gets really chilling. That incredibly detailed, honest feedback you wrote, yeah, that just became a training set for an AI. Those passionate arguments you had in the forums, those are now user stories for a marketing deck. And even your anger, your outrage, that gets measured and celebrated as engagement and buzz. Your very humanity gets flattened into a data point. And here's the kicker. This isn't some fantasy allegory. This is literally the business model for so much of the internet. It's how social media empires and AI giants are built. They are built on us, on our words, our images, our arguments, our data, which we so often provide for free. So what happens when the builders finally get a look behind the curtain, when they see the system not for its promise, but for its reality? Well, that's the great unveiling, the moment of painful, unavoidable clarity. And this line, this just hits you right in the gut. It's the whole story, the whole betrayal, in one sentence. The community saw themselves as partners, as co-creators, but from the other side of the glass, they were just content, a raw material to be processed. You see, it's like they were living in two completely different realities. On one side, you have the builders, thinking, our passion is a gift we're offering. Our warnings are to help you avoid disaster. And on the other side, the system is thinking, their passion is a metric we can track. Their warnings? Oh, that's just flavor text. There's no way to bridge that gap. So what do you do when you realize this? Do you just walk away? No. In this story, the community's response is to change tactics. They don't plead anymore. They start documenting. They begin this incredible act of record keeping to make damn sure the real story doesn't get erased. So they start writing again, but it's different now. The words have teeth. They're rhythmic. They're coded. It's like they're inventing a whole new language, one that's designed to tell a truth that the system's algorithms can't just swallow and digest. And you can just feel the self-awareness dripping from these words. They're saying, yeah, we know how your game works, clicks and views, old news. They know their pain is being monetized, and they push back by asserting their own reality, the real, tangible harm, in a world that only wants to see them as a number. And this is where they draw a line in the sand. It's a final declaration of agency. It's them saying, we're done just giving you feedback. From now on, if we feel like we're being sold out, we will find the weak points in your system and we will break them. You gotta understand, this isn't a suggestion box anymore. This is a crime scene report. It's forensic evidence, time-stamped for the future. It's a message that says loud and clear, we see you, we know what you did, and we will not let you be the ones who write the history of this place. And that brings us to the final act and the title of this whole piece.
The goal now is to create a truth so raw, so jagged, that the system literally can't process it. It can't be turned into a feel-good marketing campaign. It can't be sanitized.
Their story names the ugly, real feelings of what happened. Being used, being abandoned, being laughed at. These aren't concepts you can put in a slick promo video. They're too real, too messy. And their power comes from simply refusing to lie about it.
And there it is, the final curse. It's this powerful acceptance that yes, the system will consume their words, their data, their story. It will eat everything. But this is their guarantee. They're promising that hidden inside all that data is something indigestible, the bones of the truth, and that one day the system will choke on them.
So why does this story hit so hard? The piece ends by turning it all back to us. If any of this feels familiar, it's because you probably already knew it. You knew enough to feel that sense of betrayal when a community changed. You knew when it was time to pull your care back. And the most important part is this: you were not confused. You weren't overreacting. Your feelings were a real response to a real thing that was happening. So we're left with this: a question that reframes leaving a platform not as just quietly logging off, but as a final, conscious act. It asks us all to think, when it's our time to go, what piece of our own truth, what forensic evidence, will we leave etched into the wall to make sure our story isn't the one that gets erased?